Rusty, you're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted, Rusty.
You're muted.
It's a good start to proceeding.
Sum it up with this. I'm back.
You're back, baby.
You never went.
What a shock. Let's start again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action. Hello and welcome to the good, the bad and the ugly with me, Rusty, here on All for United. It's the show where there's 3 topics and 3 questions. And the questions, I expect my guest and you in the comments to join in. My computer's been really slow. So this is going to be a struggle from the outset. But never mind. Boys, how are we?
Very good, Rusty. How are you, mate?
Not as slow as Joe normally is. That's how I am.
And I've had the whole day off, so I've no excuse to be how slow I am.
Yeah,
Andrew's
got COVID.
Oh yeah, this is an All for United first. Neil has got COVID.
He's infected.
So I win the first question.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's his prize for being.
You're the first person I've ever known to actually. I personally know somebody who's had it, so congratulations on that as well. That's it. That's a unique kind of award you've just won there.
I'm glad I can make you happy, Rusty.
It made me happy, but
it's got a morbid way of putting it, but yeah.
Right, ladies and gents in the comments, I hope you're all well. I will come across to you shortly. We're going to crack on. This week's first topic for the good is Marcus Rashford, baby, getting his MBE. Liz has picked up the dog and bone, and she's gone, Marcus, mate, you've been feeding those kids, 1.3 million of them. Oh, wait a minute, Marcus, I've got a bit of wind here, love. Just had ravioli.
Oh,
Well done, mate. You're getting an MBE. I love you. Yeah, catch you soon, pal. Wear your best suit. Bye-bye. And that's happened. Guys, I'll come to COVID boy first and Neil.
Right.
And
what a superpower.
It's what a superpower, yeah.
COVID boy.
How are you feeling about Marcus getting an MBE? You're proud of him, Mush?
Yeah. Definitely proud of him. He's one of us, isn't he? He'll be at United for years and years. He'll be like Paul Scholes and Giggs. He'll be at United for years and years, and I'm so proud of the guy. Just a shame he's had to feed a few Scousers, but you know they need some food sent their way all the time. But that's just a bit of a harsh thing for the Scousers. But we'll get over it.
Yeah, mate. I can't believe that just happened, but it did. Oh my God! It reminds me of the Christmas song now, doesn't it? Feed
exactly.
Let them know it's Christmas time, man. But yeah, for Joe, I don't know how you follow that, but how are you feeling about Marcus Rashford and his MBE?
Yeah, I'm absolutely. Fuck me, I'm very close to that camera. Sorry, it's my dad's. Look, he absolutely deserves this 100%, and it's an honor for us to have him at the club. Someone, especially at his age, like I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I think of footballers, I always kind of in my head I think of them as just not having an age, or always just being older than me, or something like that. Like I can never think of them actually being a human being. But the fact that Rashford is 22 or 23. And having the social conscience to what he's doing, not just like give money to charity, but actually going out there and fighting for it and making it happen and being the face of it. Well, obviously, and he will say himself, there's loads of people around him that's helping him as well. But the fact that he's pushing it and making it happen, and it's a credit to have him as a person, but to associate with our club as well, and everything he's doing is just phenomenal. So I couldn't be happier for him, delighted for him. It's brilliant.
It is. When you say like he's associated with our club, I don't know, it just gives you a bit more sense of pride as well.
Yeah,
he is one of our own, as Neil said before. And I hope Neil's right. I hope he is one of these players who can stay at one club for the duration, because he seems that kind of person. He does seem like somebody who's got loyalty, who's got the correct morals and principles. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm buzzing for him. Oliver, Are you going to make it a full house of proud people for Marcus Rashford and his MBE from Big Liz?
Oh, definitely, mate. You know, if you've been a lifelong United fan, one of our own, using his platform to do well, I mean, it only shows, he's been brought up correctly, not dragged up. Like some Merseyside-based clubs.
Yes.
As for the said, right, it's clearly praise to the people that have brought him up. There's obviously people in the training that are looking after these kids when they're coming up to the ranks. So to use his platform to do something so selfless, I mean, I know I didn't have any inkling to do anything, that beneficial to other people when I was that age. Not sure about you guys, but, fair play to it, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Off the cap, mate. Brilliant.
Yeah. But it's like, sorry, go on.
Go on, Joe.
No, it's just like Oliver was saying, like footballers, like when we were that age, like I don't know, I think I was the sort of person who was like, oh, that's terrible, and then we'd move on to the fact that I couldn't get a woman. That would be my main concern. But like being asked, like especially footballers who live in a bubble, who don't really know about the outside world whatsoever, and to like really strive to make it a better place is something that's so rare, because there is a lot of footballers who will throw money at a problem or would be like the face of a charity campaign, but actually go out there and create this initiative and fight for it is something truly special. And it'd be great. I know it's early days, but the fact that he's getting MBE now, it could be a case that he would be the first footballer since Sir Stanley Matthews to be playing football, be a professional footballer and be knighted. That'd be great, but obviously that'd be about 10 years down the line maybe, but that could be something that could happen, and that'd be amazing as well. So we're really lucky. It's a credit. It's wonderful.
What's that? If he was to get knighted, it could potentially be the first
professionally playing footballer since Sir Stanley Matthews.
Oh, knighted. Yeah.
To be knighted while playing. I think that's right.
Yeah.
That's an interesting fact. What did Sir Stanley get it for? Just for his football?
England contributions, mate.
Yeah. I think
top all time. What do you call it? Caps for England, wouldn't it?
Makes sense. Neil's got his hand up patiently, like he's in school.
Can I just say though, one of the great things about Rashford, he can take penalties other than the players in Joe's other favourite team.
Who's my favourite team?
Republic of Ireland.
Oh. Savage tonight. Neil is on one.
That is savage.
That is
uncalled for. Okay.
Harsh.
And it's very, it's wonderful to see an English fan call another country out on their inability to take penalties.
Yeah, but we did. You couldn't.
You won your most recent penalty shootout. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're good at penalties. I think you're a bit more high profile.
We're getting a bit carried away now, aren't we? Because
boys.
Sorry about that.
England have finally won a penalty shootout, and now we're just like giving everybody shit.
Master
But no, back to Rashford. It is like, as Brown Knight just said, he should have been knighted. Potentially, he should have been. But for me, it's 1.3 million children in total that he's potentially helped out, and he's not stopping there, is he? Either he's going to keep creating noise, he's going to keep the balance, he's going to keep the ball rolling, and he wants to do bigger and greater things. And all credit to him, as long as it doesn't get in the way of football. I know it's horrible to say that, but we do. There is things greater than football, and what he's doing is greater than football. But at the same time, I want to see the Premier League return to Old Trafford. So keep your head on the ball as well, Marcus. But that brings me to the first question for the good, and that is, if you was to receive an MBE, guys, what would you receive it for? And I will come to Oliver first on that one.
Well, it'd have to be my services to the sausage roll community in my local area. Quite clearly. We entered the Great British Sausage Roll Off. Who knew that was a thing? Came 4th out of 200, mate. I must make about 100 every day now. They are pretty special. We'll have to get you boys sorted out. But yeah, I'll take an MBE for that. Definitely.
Is that for real? That all big old?
That was literally a competition that we entered and did well in. the Great British Sausage Roll-Off.
Phenomenal.
Jesus
Christ.
But yeah, if they want to throw an MBE my way, I'll send them a sausage roll, mate. Yeah, it's a good deal all round.
That's banging, that lad. I never knew that was a thing. I'd give you an MBE for that. If I was
Oh,
Liz,
mate, you got to taste them, mate. They're pretty fang, mate. Has to be said.
Brown Knight, thanks for the compliment, pal.
Needs a sausage roll.
I was about to say, I need a sausage roll. No, I was tanked up last night, mate. So it's just drained all the colour out of me. There we go. I'll make sure I get some makeup for next time I come on. I don't want to be MBE for me. For me, looks. Fair enough, lad. And Brown's got a good point. Everywhere he goes, every single channel he goes on, he always says, "What have I missed?" I will get an MBE more consistent opening statement, and he probably would. Neil, you believe that you're going to win this one. There's no awards for it. It's just a question. It's no points for prizes or anything like that. But why would you receive an MBE, Neil?
Well, for staying alive this long, to be fair. 8 years ago, I was given 2 years to live. Then I've done a bit of charity work, but I don't want to talk about it. Raised 5 figures for a cancer charity. And now I've got COVID and I'm hoping to get over that. So come back in a couple of weeks to see if I've been successful in that one. But at the moment, I think getting over the big C. So I should be 90 because I was written off big time.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go into depth. I don't want you all crying before 7 o'clock. So I'm not going to. But I win. And I should. And
I win.
I'd love it if Big Liz phones Marcus Rashford. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it?
That's bang. So you've had the big C, and now you've got possibly what's the little C, then, aren't you? In COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, I've had the big C. Yeah, big time.
Collecting all the C.
3% chance to survive.
A what?
So I win. I phoned a mate of mine this afternoon and I said to him, this is the question tonight. And he said, this is the answer you got to give. And there's the answer. So I've gone with Mr. Andy Bullpit, shout out, because he'll be watching, even though he's a Southampton fan, but he loves this channel.
Goodbye.
And he'll be watching. So shout out to Andy Bullpit because he told me that's the answer you got to give. He said you should be knighted, never mind an MBE.
Mate, all credit to you, and here's the good help.
Yeah.
Anyway, good luck, I hope that glass of red. Goes somewhere to a better health as well, mate. Acting Joe, Mr. Joe, Miss Joe. What are you getting an MBE for, Mucker?
Do you know what? I knew Neil would be fucking delighted because he said he was going to have a great answer, and then now I have to follow him. Do you know? So he's already won.
Not for the first time.
Yeah, well, no, it's definitely the first time he won against me, right? I'm going to go more in the same line as Oliver, as my contribution to the hospitality industry, especially during lockdown. I have bought the off license out on many occasions, and when the pubs opened back up, there was not a dry pint of Guinness anywhere. I was absolutely flummoxed from A to Z, from the entirety of anti-lockdown. So that's what basically my MBE would be for keeping my local alive. That would be my contribution. I don't even think I can get an MBE. I think I get an OBE because I'm not of the British nature or whatever it is. I can't remember. But yeah, so the Guinness factories and the locals alike, that's what I get my OBE.
Well, just that as well. We all know, I don't think it's similar over there, but obviously the local boozers, even before lockdown, were struggling. And your local shops and stuff like that. So that is just an absolutely amazing thing you've done there, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't do it for the honour. I just do it for my people.
There you go. So we got an MBE, an OBE, and a Knighted. Very good. That one in the post to Liz. We'll have it sorted.
So, if we burn Joe, he'll burn. If we cremate Joe, he'll burn for about 4 weeks.
I think it's the opposite. My blood is so alcohol level, I just go up like that. Straight up.
Ben's joining in and letting me know that I need some makeup next time as well. So cheers, guy. I'm gonna walk away with this with my self-esteem through the roof.
Who needs self-esteem anyway?
Don't need it. Anyway, my MBE.
Oh yes,
I get an MBE because every time I'm really drunk, I'm at a party or even a wedding. I've done it at a wedding. I tend to do the elephant trick. Have you ever seen the elephant trick, guys?
Are you gonna pull down your trousers?
I feel like you're gonna do it now.
It's where, right?
No,
It's where to do it. So you pull one pocket out, you pull two pockets out. There's the ears, and then you pull the chunk out.
Oh my! I knew that's what it was going to be before you fucking did it.
Services to the performing arts there. There you go.
And I don't know why. I don't know why, but every time I get really drunk, I'm like, "Have you seen the elephant trick?" Why? I need to put like, I don't know, like a lock and key on me flies or something like that.
Chastity belt, there we are.
Yeah, chastity belt. I think there we go.
What if you went
the
to a
royal
wedding
seal?
naked?
A chastity belt. Stop him! The shouting in the comments. Ridiculous. Right, guys. Moving on to the next question, which is the bad. This one could get a bit tasty, but the Pogba agenda. Now, is it an agenda, or are people right to want him out? Are people right to say he's world class and he should stay? For me, before you guys throw your pennies within, for me, he is a great player. He's fantastic, but when he's on fire, he can win you games. But when he's not on fire and he's just strolling around the pitch, he can lose your games. And he's not being consistent enough for the class of the player that he is. I think, and the fact that he's now twice said, well, once that he definitely wanted, he said he wanted another adventure, didn't he? A new task in life away from Old Trafford, which is bad enough. His second one could, you could back him up and say, afterwards he did say that he loves United and he wants the best for Man United. But for me, it's like, I put it on Twitter saying that and then saying that. It's like telling your missus that you shagged her sister, but you still love her. So
it's all right.
It's all right, loving it. Now I know Neil's got a lot to say on this one, so I'm going to get Neil out of the way first on this one because we could be here for a while. Neil,
box office.
What are you saying, mate? Is there an agenda? Is there an agenda against Pogba?
I don't think there is agenda against Pogba. I think the agenda that's out there might be his agent's making. Now, there's no disputing on Pogba is an absolutely fantastic footballer. But what gives me the raving up with him is since he's come back, and let's be honest, we've paid, God knows, multi-millions for him. What is it, 89 million or whatever it was? He's on anything from, depending on which report you listen to, it's 250 to 300 grand a week. I don't think he's worth the money. And that's the problem I got with him. When United used to be the best team in the league without the ball. Under Ferguson, when we didn't have the ball, we were the best team in the league. A bit like Barcelona were all those years ago. We used to go and hunt the ball down and get it back. When we haven't got the ball, he's an utter waste of time. He couldn't tackle a rice pudding. So and he's a big guy. And when the ball's at his feet, there's no disputing the guy's talent. No disputing him at all. I don't think he's committed to United in the way he should be and in the way he said when he first came back. And I think he's got more talent than probably any player in that squad. But he just doesn't put it down on the pitch. So how often are we going to keep making excuses for the guy? Personally, I love Van der Beek. I wouldn't be too disappointed if we sold Pogba and then we give Van der Beek his head. Because the way the team's playing at the moment, let Van der Beek lead the team. See if he can lead the team with Bruno and they can drive the team forward. Because clearly, after this international break, there's going to be changes. And I'm quite interested to see if Ole makes some severe changes or he just makes a couple of changes here and there. But if he goes for it, I think Pogba could be one of the ones that pays the price. Don't get me wrong. Talent, and he'll go somewhere else and probably prove us wrong. But that's in a different league at a different pace. But the Premier League was where all the best players in the world want to be. All of them want to be here. Yeah. The only player in world football that's not played here, that should have played here, is Messi. After that, they've all been here. Yeah. And that's my opinion on Pogba.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Put it across well. Phil says what we always expect from our players is 100%, and Pogba really good. That Brown Knight, when it finally comes up with my slow computer, is claiming that obviously the media twist his words. Now, I've watched the full interview, and for me, they don't twist his words. The words come out of his mouth that it's every person's dream to play for Real Madrid, and yes, it will be his dream too. I reckon they have split it a little bit, but he does actually say it'd be a dream to play for Real Madrid. Brown, comment further, mate, if you've got more to say on that one, though. I'd like to hear about it. And Zidane's a legend, mate, as well, without a doubt, Brown Knight. Oh, Big Ol, I'll come to you, mate. Here's a Pogba agenda, and what's your personal thoughts on the man himself at Old Trafford?
I have to agree with Neil, to be honest with you, mate. I think the agenda, if anything, is sort of positivity spreading about Pogba. I think you can see in his performances for France, he gives that extra 10, 20%. Statistically, you can see it as well in his recoveries, long balls forward. You know, it's all pinpoint. He puts on that shirt and he goes out with pride. And I think if he needs any more sort of, momentum, putting on the United shirt should be enough for any player that we have playing at our club. I'm not sure I've seen enough of that from Pogba, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what you guys think about that, but, it just seems a bit lazy, a bit lackluster. It's almost toys out, Pram over big strap, for a goal down, or, he's not got the assist that he should have done. That's it then for the next, 80 minutes of a game. It's not good enough.
Yeah, completely agree. Do you think that saying that then, because he's played a lot deeper than he is when he plays for France, is he being played out of position? Maybe if he's played in a number, further up the field, I said like in a Bruno Fernandes kind of role. If he's played down, Fernandes drops deep, and then he gets his assist and he gets to play the way he wants to play. Maybe that'll build his confidence up. I'm going to go to Neil because he's shaking his head at that. He doesn't believe that's true. Let's have a quick chat and see what Neil thinks about what I'm just saying.
Well, the reason I'm shaking in my head is how many chances does Pogba want? Bruno came in and he grabbed the team by the scruff of his neck. Absolutely grabbed that team and said, right, this is where I'm going to play. This is where I'm going to drive the team forward. Pogba hasn't done any of the stuff that Bruno's done in the 5 minutes that Bruno's been there.
Yeah. Fair point. Hear what you're saying. And another good point for Brown. I think Pogba, Van de Beek and Bruno will be able to play together in a 5-3-2 now that we have Telles. Yeah, we probably would do. We've got two fast fullbacks in Telles and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Potentially, that could work, dude. I completely agree. Mr. Joe, you've sat observing, like stroking your chin, taking it all in. Do you have anything different to add to that, or is it a full house where we see him as a good player, but just a bit lackluster at times?
Yeah, I wish I had something to stroke like your chin, so I tend to sit here pretending I had something to stroke. But look, in my house, we're all big, huge United fans here, and we are incredibly frustrated by Pogba. My dad despises him. My dad despises him so much. I bought my dad the zebra, the third away jersey today, and as a joke, I put Pogba on the back, just to piss him off as well. To make him happy. And he was happy and annoyed, but it's fine. But with him, I think that there is an absolutely world-class player in there. We've all seen it. And why he plays better for France is because France are a far better team in pretty much every department than us. And I think that you're going to shine in that. And if he played with City, if he played with Liverpool, if he played, not Real Madrid now, Real Madrid are shit, and so Barcelona, so I don't know why he really wants to go there. But in teams where there are better players around him, I guarantee you he will be a better player because he needs that. He's not a leader, never has been. When we were relying on him, he just fell apart. So that's why he was good when I know the way Mourinho went about it was awful, saying that he wasn't second captain, that he's whatever way he did it. Like Mourinho's a scumbag, so he just did handle that terribly anyway. But he can't be relied on as a leader. And let's be honest, okay, this isn't a good time for United. It's one of the worst times in our history. But when we weren't winning titles, like under Ferguson, when we had maybe like Van Nistelrooy, right? We won one title when he was here for 4 years. He was still a world-class player, and we saw it week in, week out. And we bought him for a huge amount. We bought for 19 million, and we bought Pogba for 19 million. Did anyone think that we'd be in the state we are now 5 years on after buying him, or 4 years on, however it's on, where we've won nothing, done nothing, pretty much achieved nothing, and he's supposed to be our talisman. He can't be relied on. He never will be relied on. He will show glimpses of why he is and how much he costs. But we need him gone for mainly. I've no ill will against him. I don't even mind the comments he said, because that's the way modern football is. Okay. There's no Brian Robsons out there anymore who will sign a 7-year contract with a team that look like they're going to do well. They're players who are just going to go to, I wouldn't even say necessarily the next paycheck, but where it will suit them best, where their profile will be the highest. That's basically what it is now. So I don't really care what he says as long as he's doing it on the pitch. He's not, if we get 150 million, which he isn't worth, but his worth because of the name value, get him gone, buy 3 players that can come in and actually improve the squad, because I don't care. Genuinely, I don't care. I don't think he's worth really talking anymore. I feel like let down. I feel hurt. I feel like he's a child that lied to me. Do you know what? I'm his parent. That's what I feel like. Just hurt.
I get you, man. I get you, because there was so There was so much promise and so much hope when they brought him in. I'm lisping here. Last night, I was that drunk. I was eating food at the night, and I bit into my lip so bad it's got a gash. It's got a gash in it. When I pull it out, have a look at it before. It looks like a mutation. Do you know in the movie The Fly? It looks
yeah.
Disgusting, mate. So
that worked out. That worked out well for him in that film, though. I think so. You'll be fine.
Did it work out that well for him? Did it?
I think it did. He got a sequel, didn't he?
Guys, let's take the pressure off Pogba a little bit there with the question, and join in the comments as well, people. Who do you hate the most in world football right now?
Obvious.
Big goals. Looks like he's ready to go.
Definitely, mate. Most hated footballer in world football has to be Sergio Ramos, mate. He's
I love him
in football. You'd love him if he was on your team. Don't get me wrong, but he's an absolute scumbag, mate. You know, I think he holds the record for the most yellow cards of any player's career ever. It's 200 and something. Surprisingly, he's only got about 20 or so red cards, which means it's probably that sort of pleading, you know, his innocence, like he's been wrong, you know, unjustly red carded or yellow carded, like. But every time he does it, it's play acting, and it's just pathetic, mate. It's unbecoming of a professional footballer, and it really pisses me off. I have to be sad. You know, watching your team do well in a competition is brilliant. It's one of the best feelings ever. But watching Sergio Ramos eat his fucking humble pie when Ajax knocked them out of the Champions League.
Oh, that was great.
Possibly one of the greatest things I've watched in live football. Loved it. That literally made my week, you know. Like, I know it shouldn't do, but to hate someone so intently, he's an absolute scumbag, mate. Yeah. I have to get that off my chest.
True.
Thank you for letting me do that. It's good to sort, as they say.
I'm glad you got that out, because it means there's going to be one less victim around your parts tonight, because you've got all that anger out of you, mate. So that's good. Sergio Ramos for me is one of those. He's Marmite, isn't he? Some people really love him because he is a talented defender, no doubt. I'd prefer PK to a Ramos, but I don't like him either. He's just something that grates on me. His attitude, his conduct as a player. He's not very sportsmanlike, is he? And some people go, "You need that on the pitch." Yeah, you do, but
let's have it right. Have you ever seen him take a penalty? I'm pretty sure there's a rule where you can't stop completely on a run-up. And yet, somehow, Mr. Spain always gets away with stopping dead and then changing direction. There's no, let's retake it, you know. If we did that in the Premier League, he'd be crucified, mate.
Yeah,
somehow he always gets away with it because he's, you know, Mr. I don't know what you're on about. You know, I'll play innocent.
It works.
But, to say the least, he grinds my gears to say that.
You got people agreeing with you as well. Hello. Agree wholeheartedly. A proper brat. I think something that rhymes with brat as well, to be quite honest, Hell. And Phil's Henderson, that fucking tappy feet thing he does before he lifts the trophy does my effect. Just him lifting a trophy does made him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why does he do that? Like, Neil, go on. We'll come to you, sir. First, who you throwing your hate on in the footballing world today?
Leeds.
Leeds.
Leeds in front. There you go.
I fucking hate Leeds. I don't care. I don't care if I get any crap coming back. I just hate fucking Leeds. Reevy walked out in England and all that bollocks, and then going to managing Saudi Arabia. I had the shit kicked out of me at just outside of Ellen Road once when Cantona. We played 3 games. I think it was in about 10 days. Not long after we'd signed Cantona. I think it was League Cup, FA Cup, and a league game. We didn't lose any of them, but I fucking hate Leeds. I hate Leeds more than I hate Liverpool. I fucking hate Leeds.
I'm Neil, who do you hate more?
Make my point.
Who do you hate more? Leeds on?
I think my answer is Leeds.
Leeds on the punch.
Leeds.
Leeds, you really hate Leeds that much?
More than any. Right, put me back on. Hang on, just put me back on a minute. And this is controversial.
Oh, here we go.
The thing is with Liverpool, at least they've won stuff. I do hate Liverpool. I love it when we beat them. It's the first fixture I look for every year. But I've sort of got a begrudging slight respect for Liverpool because I think, a bit like us, they're the 2 biggest clubs in the country and in Britain. Sod Celtic and Rangers. But they're the 2 biggest clubs in Britain. Liverpool, United. United first, and then closely followed by the club that Rashford has fed. But Leeds, fucking hate it. Get me, I'm off. I'm done. I'm not feeling very well.
An irrational hatred of Leeds. There we are. Is it the fans though? Is that a personal thing? You just hate Leeds fans?
Do you hate the fans as well? Is that what it is?
Who's?
Leeds fans.
Leeds.
Is it just everything about them?
Yeah, everything. Have you ever been to Leeds?
I have.
I
tell you what, Leeds, they had a tornado blew through Leeds and it did £10 million worth of improvements.
Yeah, I've been Leeds a few times, and it's a horrible little place, to be quite honest. Moving on from Leeds then, before because Neil's not too well, and we don't want to make him any more ill than he already is. Joe, who you thinking, mate? Who you hating in the world of football right now, buddy?
Okay, I have a question as well. Brown Knight said Joe just wants to be the salt is here. I don't know what that means. If you could tell me. Okay, I've got 4. Okay, I've got current. I've got in the world. I've got all time, and I've got honorable mention. So which one do you want to hear first?
None of them.
Outside of Neil. Okay, current. I fucking hate Eric Lamela.
Right.
Because he is a nothing player for Spurs who just made it. Who dived the fuck against Martial and gotten sent off, even though he hit Martial first. Is that a shock to anyone? No.
No.
It was Spurs game. Okay. Second,
Joe, because last week I do a showdown on my channel called Week, and he came in at number 3, Eric Lamela, to be fair, because just an absolute shit show last week. That was. It wasn't even a punch. It was just a little slap by Martial, and unless that slap came by a satellite delay, why did he go down fucking 10 seconds later? It was fucking pathetic.
Because he's a fucking prick. That's why.
Carry on anyway, sir.
Yeah, and Brown Knight, thanks for telling me Pogba's parents. Cool. Second in the world, I don't think this will shock to anyone. I fucking hate. Hate is the word I'm using here, right? I hate Neymar. I fucking despise him. He is okay. Great footballer. I think his highlight reel, though, is really like 15 seconds. He's done nothing at the World Cup other than get injured and like legitimately get injured, which led to Brazil losing 7-1, which I was so happy about because I hate Brazil in the 2014 World Cup. And then fawning around on the floor for about 15 minutes against Mexico or against Colombia, I can't remember.
Mexico.
I remember him because there's a clause in his PSG contract. I don't know if you guys seen this. I can't remember who they're playing. Might have been Liverpool, I think. But he passed the ball, right? But didn't look at where the man was. And you could see him waving. And people were like, why was that the ball without play? And it kind of went on. But apparently there's a thing in his contract to raise like PSG's like friendly, how they're seen across the world to make them look more friendly, that like anything you do on the pitch that is seen to be like nice to the public, you'll get like 50 grand extra in his wage or something along or 5 grand. So he was waving to the crowd to build that up so he get a bit of extra money so PSG would get nice publicity. Like, and the fact that he left Barcelona the way he did, for the amount of money as well, and he's just not that good as well overall, and I hate him. My honourable mention before I get to the all-time is Mark Clattenburg. No, he's not a footballer, but the wanker has the European Championship and the European Cup tattooed on the back of his calves like an absolute fucking nonce. And now he's in fucking Saudi Arabia telling them what football is. Like, the man's a loser, all right? You can't like stay in the Premier League or just fuck off. You see his haircut as well, like absolute prick. And then finally, to no shock to anyone, especially Neil, because he'll kill me if I don't say it as well. He'd be surprised if I don't. Fucking Thierry handball that cunting prick Henry. Yeah. So there's my 4. There's probably loads more as well, but Henry is top by a fucking mile. Like, waste of space, arrogant, prickish French bastard. I hate him. All right, and he's also not as good as everyone thinks. Okay, his goals to game ratio in the Premier League is great against the bottom teams, but against in the Champions League and in cup finals and all like that, he is useless. He is not someone you want. And there's a thread on Twitter, you can find it. I'll link it later on, and it shows him to be the fraud, handball, and prick he is.
Good job.
Where's my fucking flag?
That's
yes,
the Irishman coming out there.
Come on, fuck you, Henry. Thank you. Mic drop.
Mic drop seems a bit bitter.
I was kind of thinking that Thierry Henry might get a mention somewhere on the line there, Joe, and you did not disappoint. Even for us England fans, I think when that happened, we were like, no.
But it was also
smug face, mate, afterwards. Smug.
But the way he went around and he sat beside Richard Dunn and he was just like being sad. Oh, I'm so sad that this happened to you. And then he goes, oh, I said it to the referee about it and stuff like that. No, fuck off. No, you didn't. You didn't say do a thing, you humpy cunt. You. I'm glad you got knocked out in the 2010 World Cup embarrassment. Fucking prick. Yeah, by cheating. How did you get on against Germany in that again?
Yeah, well, we were there. We were there.
Yeah.
You watched it on television.
Yeah.
True.
Who would you want taking a penalty for you? Anyone from the Republic of Ireland or Henry?
Not fucking Alan Brown.
Alan Brown, poor guy. Anyone from the Republic of Ireland. I would say Henry to get him out on the pitch so I can kick him in the face.
Joe's bitter. He's very bitter.
I'm not bitter. I'm just accurate.
It's true. No, it's slightly based on accuracy.
Yeah.
Neymar in the comments. Not a fan of Neymar either. I'm not a fan of Neymar, to be quite honest.
What about the Leeds thing?
Hey?
Where's the proper United fans? Leeds. That's the team, right?
Yeah, Phil said I lived in Leeds for about 4 years. So
yeah, that was it.
Good. Well, 4 years, and he soon got out.
Well,
so we've had Leeds. We've had a shitload from Joe. He just hates so much in life. A big goal's gone for Sergio Ramos. For me, then, it'll make you happy in the comments, Brown Knight. It is and always will be for me. Luis Suarez, I fucking hate the prick.
Yeah.
I see his face, and honestly, I can feel my blood boiling. I can feel my blood pressure going up. I just hate fucking offside with his teeth and shit like that. Just, biting people, being racist, just being a full-time bellend. when the rumours started, I know they were just rumours, but like during transfer window, Suarez to United, I was like, fucking better not be.
There's
Better
not a chance that'll happen, mate.
I will be on that. I will be at Stretford End or just at Old Trafford, and I swear I would run on and belt him, naked, just for a bit more entertainment, like do a proper treat.
Do the elephant.
Slap him with my dick.
He can eat an apple through a letterbox.
He could do, couldn't he? Absolutely, just a disgusted human being. Just don't like the guy. Don't. Great football, of course he is, but you find that a lot with like great footballers. They manage to somehow spoil it themselves, don't they, by being first-class bellends? Why can't you just all be like Messi and Ronaldo? Well, Messi's a bit of a cunt as well. That's
whoa,
That's the hangover angry getting in there.
Don't get.
Put it this way: Zlatan is a bit of a bellend. But he does it in the best way. In the best way.
Don't want
then you got Suarez, the other side of the coin, who's just a fucking idiot. Doesn't know how to do it, Oh, it's all very well, his family were so upset with how he was dealt with by Barcelona. Yeah, he's been biting people, being racist, this, that, and the other. That all gets brushed under the carpets because he didn't feel he was treated with enough respect by Barcelona. Even though he was stealing a wage bracket for 6 months to a year before that. No fucking sympathy for him. Absolute scumbag. Fuck him.
Yes, deal.
Can I just say something on the Messi thing? Messi gets criticised for staying at one club all his life, and yet the United players that have stayed all the club all their life never get criticised. So let's get off the Messi thing. The guy is, in my opinion, in the top 3 have ever lived. He's just a fantastic footballer, and I think he's beyond reproach. But that's just my opinion, and I might get slammed for that. But then I could get slammed for anything.
Messi is one of the greatest players ever lived.
Best player I've seen.
I wasn't slamming Messi. I was slamming Messi because he's got a bad attitude as well.
Yeah,
he can be full of shithousery on the pitch as well. He's got small man syndrome. He's a class player. He is one of the greatest players that ever lived. Doesn't mean that he's not got an attitude. He's not a bit of a knobhead. You know what I mean? I think he thinks that Barcelona give him more growth hormone fucking tablets than he really had. You're down here, mate. Behave yourself. Get on with your football.
He thinks he runs that club, though, doesn't he? It is disgusting. Some of the shit he comes out with is just like, I know I'm not getting booted out or fine me whatever I earn, like £1 million.
The thing is, it's a different thing in Spain, though. Like Messi and Raul are like legitimate gods at their clubs. Like think about it. Like there's no club that's gone directly from United to Liverpool, and the closest we probably have, you've had in England, would be Sol Campbell to Spurs. I can think of. Sorry, Sol Campbell to Arsenal. I mean, and that was toxic. The atmosphere he got there. But like Figo, when he went from one club to the other, literally had a pig's head thrown at him and pennies thrown at him, and was it's like they hold their football and their football team. Like they aren't just their clubs in their heart. They are their identity. Like they hold them closer than their own families. So when one goes to the other, that just breaks it. But with the likes of Messi, why he can act the way he can is because he is held higher than fucking Jesus in Catalonia. Yeah. So like I guarantee if they did a vote tomorrow for Catalonian independence or Messi would leave, it would be tight, but Messi would win. Like they would keep Messi up for getting independence. No.
No fucking way. I tell you, the most toxic. You talk about toxic games. I went to the game when Mo Johnston played for Rangers.
Oh wow,
Celtic.
Oh God, yeah.
That was toxic. That was toxic. That was quite scary, actually. I wanted to come home and I needed my mum that night.
Yeah,
that was proper scary. Yeah. But the Catalonia thing, you're stepping up. I know about this because I used to work in Barcelona. It's difficult. Alfredo Di Stefano, Real Madrid's greatest player. Which was the first club he signed for in Spain?
Barcelona.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they changed the government changed the law to say you couldn't sign foreign players. So Barcelona had to null and void the registration. Then when they null and voided it, Madrid, the government, changed the law back, and then
so they can find them. Yeah.
So they could sign him. So don't give me that bollock. Real Madrid probably after Leeds. And there you go. I'll keep you on here for hours. I might be dead by the end of it. No, it could be on for years.
Cool.
My mind just needs to take a minute. That's
yeah, right well now. I've just gone, whoa.
Just get the books. Just get the books. Just get the book. There's books out there.
Books?
No, yeah, you read them, you turn a page, and then you look at the next page. It's called a book. It's got writing in it.
Do you know what?
Conspiracy theories 101.
That's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. Oh, he's trying to get me on the Pogba route again. I'm not biting with this chap on.
No.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books right in front of me, and they're being used so I can elevate my laptop.
It's what you're keeping your television on.
Yeah.
Right, guys, we're going to move on to the final. We've done the good, we've done the bad. Now it's for the ugly. Don't forget, join in the comments. Don't forget to like this video as well. Share it. Just make us really happy by liking it. In fact, that'll do. The ugly section of the good, bad, and the ugly is Project Big Picture. Now, for those in the comments who have not heard about this, it's Liverpool and Man United have been banging their heads together with the EFL. What they say to try and close the financial gap between lower league teams and the Premier League. But from what I've been reading, it ain't that. No. It's the so-called Big Six getting more power, getting more responsibility and more say in how football runs in our country, whilst filling their own pockets and then giving a little donation now and again to the EFL just to appease them lower league clubs. Now, it might actually bring them clubs closer to the Premier League financially, but the Big Six will always be nice and safe and clear, and there'll be no chance for anybody else to get in there. So for me, it's disgusting. I hate the idea. I hope it doesn't get nobody gets behind it and champions it. I hope a bit like the European Elite League that they're going to start. I hope it just gets.
This is definitely just a precursor to getting that move.
Yeah.
Try and separate the difference with the big teams with the big money. I mean, it's all right saying, but we're having a charitable contribution to the EFL. It's just a thin veil, of running over a massive power grab.
Yeah.
You have to look at the ramifications of not having parachute payments. Who's going to invest in a team when they come up?
Yeah.
As soon as you go back down, you're going to have 11 Jack Rodwells in your team. Absolutely screwed. You'll be in League 2 before you know it,
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, but it's all right because we're going to give you a load of money. We are the saviours. By the way, in the small print, no one's having any other say than us. Big Six. It's just ridiculous. If that goes through, someone's had a big, big bribe.
No, massively. And for me, I've said this a few times on loads of podcasts I've been on. The working man's, the working woman's game slowly turning into a middle class, business class kind of game, and that will only further go to cementing that. To be quite honest, it's just not for me. Joe, what's your thoughts on the big? What's it called again? Project Big Picture.
Yeah, it's just a fact that it's just a gasp. Do you know what I mean? That's the feeling is. It's just like. The game is getting further and further and further away from its roots. It's getting like the with VAR is one thing, but this is another. It's like when the Premier League was formed, it revolutionized football and made it. I like to think it made it better. I know I could be getting brainwashed a bit for the fact that it's been there for my entire life, but it feels like money was put where it needed to be, grounds were done up, and everything seemed to be going the right way. But now, look, first of all, anything that is is headed by Joel Glazer, isn't going to be for the best of the people. I think this is going to be a disaster. I think it will get through because Liverpool United are ahead of us. I think everyone will fall in line, especially the top 6, because they have full control. And the fact it's going to 18 teams, but the money's still going to go up from the TV rights, which means it's just more money for less teams. If the way it is now, the top teams will get 200 million extra. So of course it makes sense for them. It's an absolute disaster, and it's going to be the ruination of association football in England. And I hope one day, if the European League, I don't want any stuff to happen, but if it happens and it's such an utter disaster that a reset button is hit, it might be good in like maybe 50 years' time that it did happen. But at this moment, it's just scary. It's just really bad. And I think the way it's going to keep going, I think like a lot of people are going to be put off football because it's gone from being the people's sport to, like you were saying, to being a rich man's sport. And that's not the way football is. That's for cricket and rugby. Yeah. You know?
Like Brown Knight says here, I was talking to Buster the other day, that's me. Which 6 clubs are truly the big 6? Well, the big 6 that they classify as the big 6 are Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham,
Southampton,
Everton.
No,
that's the 9 vote, isn't it? Southampton, West Ham.
City.
Yeah.
Southampton.
And it was 6 out of the 9 needed to vote. There's 9, yeah.
There's top, but the
6
top
needs
6
to vote, doesn't it?
The 6 vote, and then the other 3, Southampton, Everton, and West Ham, are kind of like the lower down. I know, like West Ham is a mad one because they get relegated the whole time.
That's shite.
Like, they are shite. But like, think about it, like if they go along with this, the amount of extra money they'll get in, which means they will probably never get relegated again. They'll never do anything, but they'll never get relegated.
So it's like that's a bribe in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you can have a say as long as you just tick yes and all these boxes, and I say nothing more about it. It's just ridiculous, to be honest.
Paul says there. Paul just said the way Ed Wood was running the club, we won't be in the big 6.
Yeah.
Sadly, that's not how it works because when it comes to money, we'll always be in the big 6.
Yeah.
So we'll always have power when it comes to like changing directions and trying to implement shit ideas like this. Because actually, for those who read the comments who don't know, it's Liverpool and Man United who have kind of come up with the idea, put the reds together, and took it to the EFL. And
can I just say as well? All right, on the whole like United Liverpool thing come up with it. I know we shouldn't have talked about Liverpool on this channel, but like for the fact that this is how far clubs have gone from where they originally stood. Because as we know, Liverpool, for all their faults, like the place as a whole, are like a Labour place, or the county or whatever you call it. But like the fact that they furlonged their staff, and even I know they went back on it after a couple of weeks, but the fact they did that, and now this shows that like no matter who you are as a person and things you follow, these clubs really don't care about their fans at all. They care about profit, and they always have. And I don't think they always have. I think they used to be fans and having enough money to like keep going and to progress and like excel as a club as much as you could. But the fans were always important. But it feels now it's just like, how much money can we get? We don't necessarily need you people. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, Neil, you got your hand up there as well, mate.
Well, I'm older than both of those two. Older
together.
Which is a shame, but the common denominator between Liverpool and Man United, well, I can't say Liverpool, it's cesspool, not Liverpool, cesspool. Let's get it right. The common denominator is American owners.
Yeah.
Both of those owners own franchises within the American sports system. So Fenway, as we know, owns the NASCAR team and the Boston Red Sox. The Glazers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the way that they're looking to go with the English Football League. It's the most profitable league in the world, more than the NFL. It's the most exciting. It's got the most viewers. It's got the biggest TV revenue. That's the way they're going. The Glazers and Fenway didn't wake up one morning and said, "Oh, suddenly I'm a fan of Man United. Let's buy the club." They bought the clubs because they want to earn the money. This is the start of it. Now, going on that point, this is going to sound absolutely nuts, this next sentence I say, and it's probably the craziest sentence I've ever said in my life.
Whoa.
Oh, drum roll.
Here we go. I read The Guardian today. That's the sentence.
Oh.
And the chap in The Guardian said it's actually not too bad an idea. So I implore anybody who's negative about this, read that article. It's not a bad idea. And anything that pisses off Martin Samuel in the Daily Mail, because he fucking hates Man United, is pretty good for me. But the problem you've got at the moment Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, just engrossed, mate.
The problem we've got at the
Engrossed,
moment is, I think if the money starts to cascade down to the Championship, first division, second division, I think that's a good idea. And I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to bribe them, and I think those clubs might bite. Also, Rick Parry, who's the head of the EFL, used to be the Liverpool chairman at one point in the distant cesspool. Sorry, I do apologise. Was the cesspool chairman at some point in the past. So he might be a big fan of backing this. But aren't we the only country in Europe that has got so many professional clubs? And how can we sustain so many professional clubs? The problem with this that I see it, and I'm sort of over 45, some would say over 50, because I am, is you have to agree. You can see one side of it and you can see the other side of it. I think this needs to play out for the next few weeks, and then we revisit this, because I would describe this as the Yanks are coming and let's run to the hills. But United are always going to be at the top of the tree, and it is part of the European League. That's going to happen. And sooner or later, that's going to happen. And the corporate thing is going to happen, and the terraces. We lost the terraces 20, 30 years ago. So we lost what was great about going to football, standing on the Stretford end and having pies thrown on the back of your head from some nutter who was 20 rows back, and all that sort of, that's gone. So we've either got two choices here, and I think that's the choice. We either embrace it, or it's going to happen anyway.
No, I'd have to disagree, Neil.
No, completely disagree. Completely not disagree.
No, but it's going to happen. Money talk.
No,
Americanization happened when the Premier League separated. That was the start of the Americanization, the money business model coming in. Is everyone saying, that we took that? But let's be honest, if you don't see this as an opportunistic, chance of just absolutely rinsing desperate clubs for votes, oh, you're struggling. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a £5 for that, even though it's worth 20 quid, Desperation causes, it's not wise decisions. It's desperate times, the people are clawing to this, and it's just Americans being opportunistic to a disgusting level, but that's cutthroat American business.
And
pretend it isn't fair.
Hold on. What we learned in the 80s under Ronald Reagan is trickle-down economics doesn't work. The wealthy stay wealthy because they don't spend their money; they hoard their cash. This isn't going to happen. And the reason there's more clubs in England than anywhere else is because it's the most popular sport in England, and these clubs have existed for 100 years. There's no club that has come up in the past that were there for 20 years and disappeared. They might have been the way down lower leagues, but there's clubs like Bury, like Macclesfield, who were there for 100 years.
They're out.
But they're disappearing.
Now.
Yeah, but they're gone. They are now.
Yeah.
Because of the way it's going. How come they were able to survive for so long? And it's just so much more because there's so much money in the game. No, but then they bring in
unpoliced, Joe. You're right. Yeah. It's been unpoliced. And the money just tracked up.
And it'll never go down. It'll never, ever, no matter what.
Unless it's checked by a European committee, UEFA actually stand in and don't go, 200 million, thank you very much, zip. If they actually act on this, then we can stop this sort of shit happening. Because, I live right near Mac. Yeah. And what a shame that club's just gone. No one is asked about saving it, because what's the benefit of doing that?
Yeah.
The money's not in that sort of lower leagues. So, yet again, if you said to Mac, 3 months ago, you've just had a 12-point deduction, you're going down, you might go bankrupt. Tell you what, give us your vote, and we'll give you a little bit of money. There'd be no questions asked. It'd be straight there. It's disgusting, but that's what's happening. That's what has been happening
and
for
it's
years.
going to continue to happen.
And it needs to get checked. Otherwise, before you know it, we'll all have, fireworks and everything like Wolves and Crystal Palace, cheerleaders and all that. It is definitely creeping in, but it needs checking.
In the next 10, 15 years, there's a 90 club league system now. That could easily be down to about 40 to 45 at the worst, at the best even. Because clubs that don't have the structure to combat this are just going to go, are just going to be got rid of because they can't sustain it, and they're not being taken care of like they should be. Like the FA don't care about lower league clubs. They care about them when they can say a nice little video package of them if they get to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. But that's the only time that's important to them. Do you know, unless a multi-billionaire comes in and buys these clubs, there's no saving them, and that's just the way it is. The way the current structure is, and it's absolutely just fucking disgusting.
But there's no benefit to these billionaires doing that in the lower league.
There's none. There's none. Unless you have somewhere like Bournemouth.
If you've got the money, you're not going to invest in a dying, dead duck. Like you want something that looks like it's going places.
Yeah, Bournemouth or Brighton, these clubs are in nice locations, and it's good, nice little nest egg to have. But like outside of that, who gives a fuck about Chesterfield? Do you know?
Well, to be honest with you, Mac's not the nicest place.
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like if it's not in a lovely location where you can build on from, they don't care about it. Go on there, Neil.
Now, what they're proposing, and I actually do, I do agree with my sausage roll eating friend. I agree 100% with what he's saying, and I get the point. Now, what this proposal is 25% of the TV money that they sign goes to the lower league clubs. The Premier League at the moment and the FA ain't giving jack shit, and they've had nearly 30 years to sort out the Championship, the First Division, and the Second Division, and they've not done it. And the heritage of the game is at stake here, and that's my point. Hang on. The heritage of the game is at stake here, and the grassroots of the game. I played grassroots football. We've all done it. We've all played parks football. We've all done that. And that's what's at stake here. This is the first proposal I've seen where they're actually going to give 25% of the TV money. They haven't said how much money, but they're giving 25% of the TV money is going to cascade down to the divisions below, and it's going to go to the EFL. And the parachute payment is a weird thing because it just prompts the team that get relegated the first chance to get back up. Now that doesn't work out for teams like Leeds, Sheffield Wednesday, and those teams that had to fight. God, I fucking hate Leeds, but they had to fight. They had to fight the hard way to get back up, and they did it the proper way. They lost fortunes. They rebuilt. And Joe's point is billionaire owners only take over these clubs to make more money. The Macclesfield went bump because the Macclesfield owner was a clueless moron. He hadn't got a clue. He couldn't run a bath, never mind a football club. So this at least something's been thrown out there. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but at least something's been thrown out there because something's got to change. And in the times that we live in, something has to change because the times we live in and moving forward, things must change because of this.
But they seem to only come up with a plan that could possibly benefit the lower clubs, but will absolutely 100% benefit the top six. It'll make the top six stronger and will possibly benefit the lower clubs in some way or fashion that they haven't gone into. They said 25%. Who knows how they can manage that out? Could be 25% out after whatever, and it end up being worse than it is now. But the deal is 100% concrete on making the top six more powerful, more wealthy, and then they sugarcoat by saying, okay, but we're going to try help people lower down this time. So for me, it's absolute cock. Sorry.
No one knows the iterations of what the lower league teams are going to get. If they get 0.1% of that,
that's the
in
point.
League One, League Two. Well, what's the point? It's not going to make a lot of difference.
But that's the point.
To say the Championship teams aren't going to get 5% each.
Yeah.
It trickles down, and then a pittance thrown to the other ones. No one knows what that is. It just sounds good on paper, so that it eases the transition into everybody voting yes on this new proposal. Which, as you say, it only benefits the richer clubs.
Sorry, Rusty, we're after going off on a tangent here.
No, I enjoy that.
You got a sleeping bag with you, Rusty.
A hell of a lot easier when you guys won't shut up. So it's all right. Right, we're going to finish off with a question, which I sadly haven't. I've just looked down at my phone to see what I put for it, and I haven't come up with anything for it. So I'm going to have to be quick whilst I get you three on it. But what would be, because obviously we have a question at the end of each topic, the good, the bad, and this is certainly the ugly. if you were going to rename Project Big Picture for whatever reason you wanted to, what would you be calling it? And I'll come to you first, Mr. Neil Burton.
Here come the Yanks.
Here come the Yanks. Yeah, that could be as simple as that. It makes sense. Here come the Yanks. They are literally just coming to fleece. Maybe not so much fleece, but just try and make as much money as they can and find every single avenue they can go down where there's a pot of gold at the end of it.
Give me 1 second.
A good one here. Project Big Six. Yeah, without a doubt.
You can do better than that.
That's basically just says exactly what it is on the tin, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Brendan's gone. Just go back into the chat again. Brendan's gone with Project. Well, no, it's gone again. Where's it gone?
Can I just say, I do agree with Ollie's point, by the way, what he's been making the last 10 minutes. I do agree with Ollie's point. I know he likes to toss his roll, but I do agree with his points.
Okay, I'd like to say I was making a lot of the same points that Oliver was as well.
You've got Man City paint on your wall at the back.
Big Ol, Ollie, what would you call Project Big Picture?
Well, I think Project makes it sound a bit professional. Let's be honest. It's Operation Pull Your Pants Down, Shove a Fat Cock in Your Ass. No two ways about it. That is just in the fucking English league. And if you can't see that coming, well, you've either been bribed or you're fucking stupid.
Yes, completely agree. I want to learn more about it as it comes up and it goes along. But from the outset, straight away, I know what people say that it's good to put ideas out there to try and make the financial gap between the clubs, the lower levels, better. But this one's just all about putting money in the top six, without a doubt. Joe, what are you calling it, dude?
Yeah, I'm calling it Project Dick Pic because they think it's a good idea, but we don't want it.
I'll tell you what, Joe. I'll tell you what. On that note, I ain't following that. There's nothing can follow that. That's
brilliant.
And for sure, Project Dick Pic, because they think we want it, but we actually don't. Love it.
That's got to go with the All For United script underneath. Cancel Project.
This could be the end.
Every time I see it now, I'll be like, I want your dick pic. Right, guys. Thank you, Neil. Hope you feel better soon. Do go away and quarantine for 14 days, whatever you have to do. Joe, once again, my regular guest, thank you very much. And Big Ollie, absolutely fantastic show. Enjoyed all your input. Thanks to everybody who joined in the comments. We have been on for an hour and 10 minutes, so well played to you for sticking around. Don't forget, like it, subscribe it, share it, do whatever you want with it, and stop sending those dick pics. So, bye-bye.